Should have heard the argument going on here.
The argument.
The discussion of being on time. Amen. Being prompt to church.
Hi.
We gonna be prompt. We gonna be prompt.
How
What's
y'all
going on,
doing?
brother? Excuse me. Yes, sir.
Hola, hola. It's a glare.
Wait for these church folks to get on in here. I'm gonna talk to y'all.
Claude, I still can't see. Jesus is
How is everyone doing
Jesus.
on this Sunday evening?
Yes, we're so excited that you guys decided to come in and chat with us. So
It's been a couple weeks.
yeah,
Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers
happy
out there.
belated. Yes,
It's Father's Day every day.
yeah. And then
Unlike
last
Mother's
week-
Day.
Oops. And then like last week, we celebrated our what is it? Julian, our 13-year-old, graduated from 8th grade going into high school, which is, oh my gosh, a milestone. It's so crazy how fast they grow. Hi April, how you doing?
Hello.
Big brother, big sister. Hi Tej. Tej.
That's his name. Teach.
Oh, no, for that's his name? That's what you call him?
No.
Oh. Oh. So let's first talk about this. So what is the topic? What is it called? Hi Tiff. What is the topic called?
Topic for today is the truth hurts. There's always
Does it really hurt?
there's always levels of truth that exist in marriage. You know, I'm gonna have my truth, she gonna have hers. Especially when situations is not as
Tiff.
comfortable as you would want them.
Miss Shannon.
But
Well, honestly, we had a kind of a mixed feelings because he was like, okay, yeah, let's call it truth hurts. But I felt it should be 3 sides: his truth, her truth, and the truth. But,
hey,
you know,
that's cool.
maybe that was too much to write.
That's cool.
Sarate.
That's cool.
Siege.
All the church folks coming on in here.
Siege, my boo, my sister. So basically, some of the questions I wanted to ask you guys, are you living with your own truth? Are you guided by your own truth? Hey boo. Are you guided by your own truth? Do you receive, so basically what I mean by that are like, do you receive counsel from others, or do you prefer not to tell anyone or let anyone in that particular space, which can be dangerous, and leave you to your own truth, which goes into your truth versus the actual truth. Hey Darnell. Just leave you with your own truth, if you're not speaking with someone, or if you're, yeah. You want to turn that off?
No, it's cool.
Okay. You're feeling some kind of way or whatever, but you're not expressing it, or you don't really talk about it. You can literally drive yourself crazy overthinking things. You can literally drive yourself nuts, or think yourself into a tizzy, for what I would hear sometimes, because you're overthinking something that's not even the case. It doesn't even have to be that. Overthinking, so are you guided by your own truth versus the actual truth?
Okay.
What you thinking about that?
No,
you guys can chime in, type your comment.
It's a little vague, so that's what I'm saying. If you want to get specific, okay.
Hey. Okay, so it didn't let her come in.
Okay. We're gonna see what happens, but
Yeah,
we had some friends that wanted to join in on this.
Hi, Tom. Hi, Terry Torres.
Hey. But
Hey,
it was, I guess the subtopic was more of like transparency. So,
April. You mean
guide
about
about
what you want and think versus what God is saying. Hi, Deidre. Kinda. Yeah, kinda. So let's just use an example. You got an example?
Go ahead.
I don't have one. I'm trying to think of one. Let's just say.
I came with these emojis, TJ.
Kurt may have answered me in a way that I felt it was offensive. But instead of me coming to him and saying, hey, what did you mean by your response? No, I don't say anything. And I just think myself, okay, well, when he said that, he meant this and he meant that. And, he meant this and he meant that. So basically, I didn't, he couldn't, I don't really know how he really felt when he responded the way he may have responded. But because I haven't said anything and I'm just leaving it to myself, I'm allowing myself to go to a place that I'm not even sure he actually went. So that's just an example. Truth does hurt sometimes to hear it. However, it is extremely necessary. I think what hurts more is how we say what we say. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Chavon is not allowing me here. Doesn't it always do this?
It always does this when you want to have specific people. We were trying to add someone and that should be in the room with us, which is just ridiculous. Really is.
But, that's why we've been doing the Zoom. But the Zoom is so great. It just got that 15-second delay, which it's okay. It works whenever we have to.
But
it's hard to tell people the truth. They ask for it. And when you give it to them straight, feelings get hurt. So
yeah, CJ. Yes.
So I'm more like, whatever. Especially if someone can't receive, digest, and understand my view. Understood.
That's good, CJ.
That is definitely true.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
But yeah, to even take it a step further, we usually, when you're in a relationship, you usually have time to where you're just sitting there just trying to talk, talking about, I guess my wife called it pillow talk. Mm-hmm. So it's just like our level of transparency.
More tone. Something I struggle with in life, not just marriage.
Yeah. That's TJ. Yes.
Yeah. That's definitely true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the tone alone, I think that's one of our tools. Even if because we not putting our hands on our wives, but it's just like the tone of my voice. Yes, in the manner in which you deliver it. Yes, yes, Chavon, you are absolutely correct. That's what I was gonna say. It's just like delivering a message and the tone and what I'm saying. It'll be received well if I'm not trying to intimidate my wife. You know what I mean? Versus like, okay, I'm trying to get my point across. She's gonna understand. Now, maybe there is some passion there. If my voice does elevate, I have to be conscious enough to be like, yo, I'm not necessarily speaking at my enemy in that point in time, But yeah, this is a very good topic. I didn't even say what I was gonna say, but because I can do it.
Yeah. Yes, you can. Hi, Marquise.
What's going on, brother? But
so,
yeah, man.
Yeah,
TJ. Yes, I agree.
Mm-hmm. And then what CJ was saying. Hold on, let me go back to that. I had a little bit. It's hard to tell people the truth. Feelings get hurt, so I'm more like, especially if someone can't receive, digest, and understand my truth. But the thing about it, hi, boo. The thing about it with that is, yeah, but in some cases, I mean, I agree with what everyone is saying, and in some cases, when it's hard and when they're not when you feel that the other person, if it's something that they are not going to be receptive, the Bible tells us to go and get somebody, right? You know what I'm saying? But kind of like, okay, this is something that is on my heart. This is something good. This is something that is burden, like a burden.
Get him.
So
where you go? Yes.
Hi.
All right, this actually is trying to work. I have some guests in say.
Hey, this is something that is on my heart.
Come on in here.
Hey. I can't.
Woo! This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. Yeah, I think our kid just told us to be quiet. This that generation.
So,
but yeah, Devon, you kind of chipped in right when you were saying exactly what I was thinking. Like, man, like especially in the heat of the moment, it's like with me, I'm like, okay, Kendra talks a lot. Kendra talks a lot. Okay, when it get there, it's like, yo, she's like boom, 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 and I'm like, okay, okay, like, am I gonna try to listen to what she has to say, or I'm gonna try to ether this entire conversation and like let you know that you just said a whole bunch, but I'm just gonna shut this down. And it's not right, but it's just like the tone, it just, when she's talking, it's the difference between the person speaking with you and talking at you.
Right.
It's like that. I don't know, it's a different mechanism in that. So
No, I totally understand. I'm kind of a bit of a both. Sometimes when we have our discussions or disagreements, I can feel like I'm being attacked because your tone is not right. And if I feel like I'm being attacked, I'm shutting down.
right.
I'm done. I'm not talking about it. And I'll talk about it when I'm ready, or I may not come back to it. But that's something that's not healthy. You got to be able to get through the uncomfortable conversations. But yeah, it's all about tone. And if you love somebody and you are for that person, your delivery should come correct.
Right. Right.
So.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, and amen.
And what we also what we talked about with the other group was just AJ, just how different that we are as people, and we have to realize that with marriage, with relationship, with everything, even with work. Why are you guys upside down? Are you guys upside down?
Carl, turn it back around, Carl. Turn your phone back around.
So my charger can charge.
Press the key.
Okay.
All right, let's try this. How's that?
We have to realize that we come from different backgrounds,
right?
Different cultures. We can be we in the same. We both in church, but we don't come from the same church. We can come from the same church and listen to the same word and get two separate views of it. So when it comes down to marriage, like, we have to realize this is something that we have to do together, and something we're gonna have to learn to accept. And I don't want to say kind of get through the differences. Like, dude, I accept that your processing is different, and that's something hard for me to say, because I'm like, dude, hurry up, like, come on, let's get this. I want you to understand what I'm saying. Come on, like, for real, like, do you understand what I think? I had to learn. I talk to be like, I want you to understand me. We don't have to agree. That's fine. But understand what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm asking of you.
I get that, but what if you are understanding and that person doesn't want to hear that you're saying that you're understanding, and they're trying to beat it in your head? Like, you keep saying the same thing. I hear what you're saying, but because I'm not responding how you want me to respond, stop thinking that I'm understanding. And you can't tell me that I'm not understanding if you don't allow me the opportunity to tell you, okay, I understand.
Yeah. There's a lot of feedback. That's what someone just said. So you guys have just one screen on, or two?
One.
Just one? Okay. because generates a response. Tone is everything because it generates a response, so we have to make sure the
Response is
response
healthy,
is
just like the
healthy.
delivery.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're saying something about a lot of feedback. I don't know.
I'm not even on.
I had a joke, but I had a joke. I had a
Curse.
joke.
Say the Lord has made, you will
My
shut your mouth and rejoice in it.
So
Had to rebuke the devourer.
thank you.
But no, like Neto was saying, tone is everything, and sometimes I think we as humans, we don't rationalize the moment. We're just trying to resolve said moment. So if an incident is occurring or something is happening, you're not thinking, "Oh, how is my tone coming across?" You already kind of funnel your words so that what you're saying can be understood.
Yeah.
So it's it's more work that you have to do in order to ensure that what I'm saying is delivered correctly and accurately, so that, you know, like you said, can to be understood. But at the same time, if it's a heated moment, how often do you think about that? And a couple on here that we were fortunate to be connected to at our previous church, Pastor Vinny and Hillary Grooms, they made a post and they were talking about along the lines of when you're talking, always look to fight fair, even though it's not a fight, right?
Mhm.
Always have a fair playing ground to where it's just that issue or that topic in the moment,
Yeah.
and leave what happened yesterday out unless it's relevant to what's being discussed right now.
Now that's good.
Yeah.
Both sides though, because the past could be good to when it's relevant. Yeah,
Right.
it could be good, but if it's damaging to the other,
Mm,
it's like why are you trying to peel that scab off? Like
Right.
why are you trying to reopen that it could be sometimes reopening a wound that is like, man, I'm not ready for that yet.
Right.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
another
And
thing, if you're thinking of a response or rebuttal before the individual is done
speaking.
speaking, okay, it's not healthy because it's a
correct.
ooh Jesus.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's and Elder Ross is going on. The thing is, are you listening to? Are you taking in information to hear or to listen? Right.
Yeah.
Mm,
So
Bingo.
if you're listening, you're literally taking in the information to give a rebuttal to. But if you're hearing, you're getting an understanding, right? Not to be
yeah.
all scripture, but faith comes by hearing. I also believe that intimacy and connection and growth comes by hearing. So when you're hearing, that means it got to seep in and settle. So
Mm,
if I'm hearing what you're saying opposed to listening, I'm taking it in, I'm reflecting on it. Now, how a person reflects, that's where it becomes different. So
yeah.
I myself, I am fortunate enough to be able to process in the moment and to
Like what
make
Tiff
sure
was
your
saying.
mics are smothered. Okay. I'm able to process in the moment, and my gerbils work quicker in the moment if I'm on my, on the fly. With
Mm,
my wife, she needs time to process what is transpiring. So
mm,
I have to I had to allow that grace for her to have that space to process.
mm,
But that wasn't always easy to understand how to get there because I had to learn that my way of dealing with things isn't the only way.
yeah.
She
That's
has a
good,
way
man.
of dealing with it too. And I think what we forget is that when two become one, we got the candle in the flame, we see that beautiful moment. But what we don't think about is that when two things come together, there's going to be friction.
Yeah.
So we're going to have all kind of things jamming together to make it become one. And I
Yeah.
just think about like two rocks. When two rocks come together and they're rubbing and all that, there's going to be old rocks falling off or chips coming off
Come
of
on,
that
man.
rock.
Yeah.
So that when they do become one, the best parts of each individual are now forming to become that one. But that
Yeah.
process of joining together is never smooth or easy. And tone and delivery is part of the process
Extremely important.
to help the rocks come together as smooth as possible, even though it's still going to be work to come together.
That's good, man.
And that's not to say that, I don't know if you agree, it's not to say that you baby every situation.
Yeah.
But because you will be in the heat of the moment. But I'm not going to receive, who are you talking to? If you come to me the wrong way, like, I'm not, at that point, you could just forget it, because I'm not even going to have this discussion right now. But I don't believe in babying it all the time. But if you know your significant other, you know what's going to rock them the wrong way.
Right.
Yeah.
Or the right way.
Yeah.
That's good.
Good point, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something that we have to respect each other and not be, petty towards that, because
We can be okay.
I know how I can be. I know this gonna piss you. I mean,
I'm
I'm gonna make you
saying,
mad. So
I'm saying,
say that.
Betty don't live in this house.
They live all over.
Only the Lord.
Don't take it. It rains in here.
No petty Bettys.
My God. So basically, the question that I had that I asked before you guys came on was are you living with your own truth, or are you guided? Are you living with your own truth? Are you guided by your own truth? Or basically saying, do you receive counsel from others? Do you would you allow somebody, even if it's your spouse, if it's something that you're going through or something that you're dealing with, even if it was an offense, like, okay, I don't like how you said that to me, is that something that you would actually come out and say, or is that something you're going to keep in, and now you're dealing with your own, well, he meant it by this, he meant it by saying this, and it's like, well,
You
it's
can't
the
do that.
possibility that he didn't mean that, but
So, quarantine, and I'm just speaking truth,
okay.
quarantine has really let me reflect on myself. Everything that you just said, living in my truth, came from quarantine.
Okay.
Because you're so busy in life, you don't have the time to sit down and actually think about the things that you need to work on for yourself. So I've done that a lot. Like, what does he mean when he said it? I think he means this. So I'm just gonna have an attitude all day today. But
Yeah.
I'm not really gonna know until I say, hey, Carl, what did you mean by that? And that's something that need to work on, because I don't like uncomfortable arguments or confrontation.
Yeah.
I don't like it. So I try to avoid it. But when I avoid it, I end up holding on to things. He could say something. It's been things that he's probably said 6 years ago that I still hold on to. And like, I don't like when he said that. So I'm just going to hold on to that, because I never talked about it.
Yeah.
I never asked him, what did you mean by that?
Mm-hmm.
So quarantine has opened my eyes to a lot of things that I need to work as far as communicating with my husband. As he knows that I'll shut down real quick. And I know he always tells me, I'm not a mind reader. You need to be able to tell me what's going on. And I'm very sensitive on top of that. So sometimes things do get tough, and I start crying, and he'll say, you're so sensitive. And I'm like, that's just a part of me, and it doesn't mean that that's just who I am, because I don't have the words to express exactly how I feel like you are capable of doing.
Mm-hmm.
So while you popping at me, I'm like, okay, I can't really. You got all this, evidence and examples and this and that, and I'm like, you know what? I don't got all that. I'm just telling you how I feel, and that's just how I feel right now. If you
Yeah.
need some examples, come back to me 3 hours later. I can probably think of something there.
Yeah. I felt the same way. I felt the same way. Like, I can't. I'm just now learning how to articulate certain things, but it was so much that was going on with me in our genesis
Yeah.
in the beginning that I'm like, before I met him, first of all, I was against marriage, period. And I ain't gonna lie. Like, I was against marriage because of what I saw in marriages around me. And, I'm like, you know what? I saw, you, you know, I saw so many different marriages.
Right.
I'm just like, you know
You see
what?
what
This
you
ain't
think.
it.
You saw what you saw.
Whatever this is, God, I know you honor it, and God, I know, we're supposed to say sex for marriage, but I don't want to be married. So let me just go and do what I want to do, because that's just not what I want to do. That
Right,
part I don't
right,
want to
right.
do. So you know, when meeting him, I'm like, okay, I don't want. I was a head cracker. Like, listen, I'm gonna get you with my words. I'm gonna bring you down. I'm gonna tear you down because I'm gonna let you know that you ain't nothing, and I got this. I don't need nobody. I got to put you in your place. I asked God to remove that, and when I say He did,
He
now
does
God,
it.
I ask you to take this fat off of me. God, I ask you to take all these things away. You ain't take that away, but you take that. You listen what
Listen,
I'm saying?
you listen, and when he says that I'm so sensitive, I'm like, I didn't always used to be like this. I used to be really mean, and because it was taking me somewhere in life that I didn't want to be. I
Mhm.
didn't want to jail, all that. It was just taking me places that I didn't want to be, and I said, God, if you take this away from me, yes to your will, yes to your way. And he
Yep.
took it. And now I just cry off of any little thing. And he's
Yes.
looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, well, this is what it is. I can work on it, but you know,
Yeah.
and you should know. It's not like, we ain't been together 14 plus, 15 plus years,
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys have been
But then
together.
he said, I know what you're about to say. And then he said something very important. I never thought about this. It blew my mind. Over quarantine, he said, Siobhan, he was like, do you understand that you're not the same person that you were 2 years ago? You're not the same person that you were 5 years ago. You're not the same person today. So we're all constantly learning each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something that I used to like 2 years ago, I may not like that now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I didn't really think about that. Like, you know what? I'm really not the same person that I was when we first met. And you're
Right.
expected to go in marriage. That's what's supposed to happen. So,
Yes.
Hold on. We were so rude. I am so sorry. We did not introduce you. Hi, guys.
Yo,
These
what up,
are the
family?
Bibles. This is Carlton and Chavon Campbell. How long have you guys been together and married?
We've been together for 15 years, and we've been married for 8 years and 7/8. Our anniversary is August 5th, so
Come
it'll
on.
be 9 years this year
yes.
Come
of
on
marital
now.
Yes.
bliss.
Where are our manners? She's with terrible.
It don't.
Ah,
I mean,
Carl's
when you get
my
with family, you don't
my
have
intern,
to.
so he ain't
You
gonna say
it's
nothing.
family, so you ain't do the whole formality of
right. You
getting
just
out of the guy who's had of my life.
Oh my
Really,
God.
it's like,
No,
hey,
that's
what's
not
going
me.
on?
No, thank
right.
you. That's not me.
It was the technical difficulties. It's all right.
It's the heat, bro.
Yes.
It's the heat. It's
It
the
is
heat.
hot.
Sorry.
Nah, it's
Well,
good.
nah, it's all good. Yeah. So, what helped me have that epiphany about Siobhan's not the same woman that I met when we were in our early 20s was she had I was looking for a pair of sneakers, and
Jesus, help me, God.
so okay.
I never heard of
They
it.
Don Roro, Bobo, K, Ty, L, shoot, and then not bro. So I was looking for a pair of sneakers, and I was like, man,
Somebody
I
scream.
remember, I remember how easy it was to find these niggas. Da, 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 da. And Siobhan said something along the lines of, well, that store ain't there no more, so why would you? Something, I'm paraphrasing, something along the lines of, that store is not that store anymore. Remember, they got bought out by that, or they went through a change and stuff like that. So you can't expect the same thing, and it clicked. Like, I can't
Mm.
expect the same thing because they're going to change based on what's the need of their public. So
Come
Come
I,
on, man.
on.
my
You
wife
preaching
had
right
to evolve.
now.
My wife and the woman that was my girlfriend and then fiance and now mother and wife had to evolve. So the way she views things and handles things is not the same way that a 20 some odd year old firecracker could, because
Right.
then you're worrying about yourself. So hey, if I punch somebody in the face, I'm just going to jail. But if she does that kind of thing now and pops off, hey, you're jeopardizing your livelihood. You're
Yeah.
jeopardizing your family's stability.
Hmm.
You're jeopardizing your reputation. So all of that have to be considered and counted up as far as the cost of marriage, right?
Yeah.
And they always say marriage is work. It takes work to do marriage. The thing that when we hear the word work, we think about the negative connotation that attached to work, like the
Mm.
front of it, the pain, labor. But what we don't think about is the momentum you get from doing work too, though.
Yes.
Like you said, quarantine these last few months has helped us because our schedules are so hectic that if we had a day together out of a week, that was a great thing.
And we're asleep.
And most times it's like, hey, I'm going to sleep because you have your 9 to 5 and you have your family responsibilities and you're trying to take care of your own physical temple by, working out and doing all that. Then you throw in church on top of that. When do you really find time to say, hey, let's still be boyfriend and girlfriend? It's hard. So you have to put in the work to say, hey, let's make time for us to be together. Hey, let's make time, or let's put the work in to talk about something that didn't make sense to us when I said X, Y, and Z. Or when I made you feel a certain way and I wasn't aware of it. Yeah, I'm not a mind reader. That God didn't give us that ability, but he did give us the ability to feel. And I can feel something's off with you because I do know you. I can see you walking around here with an attitude, and I can see how, or I can feel how you're looking at me at the corner of my eye, and you give me that mom look, like, okay, what did I do? So you gonna tell me? Not ready yet. Okay, cool. Because I'd rather you be able to vocalize to me what really is the problem, opposed to you suppress it because you don't want to have an argument, and then I leave a piece of paper on the floor and you blow up and snap, and I'm looking like, girl, it's a napkin. I could have been got that. And then y'all start doing all of this, and that's not even. And the thing that's funny, it's not even a stereotype. When people get mad, we get very expressive, right? It's just us as African Americans, we're extra expressive in our demonstration of our frustrations, right? So when our black wives get upset, y'all start flaring and all of this. We black men, our level of expression is we talk louder. So I naturally talk loud as it is. So then when I'm getting into the moment, it elevates. I'm not yelling at you. I'm just speaking loud because that's my way. I don't do all of this and pop my tree, but I talk louder. I do that.
I don't do that though. I don't be doing that.
You don't do that? So what you don't do this? Tell the truth and shame the devil. Oh, okay. All right. Be in your truth.
A little bit extra.
Be in your truth.
A little bit
Okay,
more.
be in your truth. And the truth is, all right. But it's understanding that if we're both on 10, we're not going to get anywhere. So somebody got to find a way to take the low road and come down. And that's from the experiences of having experience those uncomfortable conversations where you got to be transparent. And this is why I'm pissed and this is why I'm mad. And I'd rather address it or at least be upfront with you about what's going on so that, hey, we can have a peaceful evening. Or, God forbid, there's so much going on right now. I don't want the guilt of having all of this on me, and I don't speak honestly, and if something happens to my wife and now I have all this regret and guilt. I don't want to deal with that. And considering the time that we're living in where, hey, it's even more so tomorrow's not promised.
Right.
So quarantine's also helped me realize that I got to be upfront and honest so that at least she knows how I felt, or at least she lets me become aware of how she
because
felt.
I've noticed too that sometimes as men, black men, you guys don't have that outlet, or you guys don't feel comfortable talking to another male friend about, or anybody about what's going on in your marriage. So I had to realize that when Carlton gets upset and he's bringing up stuff and he's getting loud, I'm okay, this has been bottled up. And necessarily at the time when I can remember, like, I'll ask him what's wrong and he'll be like, nothing, leave me alone right now. And sometimes I can nag. No, you gonna tell me what's wrong. You're not about to be up in here and change this whole atmosphere in this house. We were up here, and because you upset, now it's down here. What is going on? And sometimes he comes back, sometimes he does tell me, sometimes he doesn't. But I understand, it's something that you gotta work. Yeah.
Get off my phone.
Stop it. Stay focused.
I'm focused. I'm here, girl. Hey, I'm here. I'm right.
But quarantine has made me reflect a lot on myself. Now, when I feel myself needing to talk to him, I pray, Lord, let me say the right thing to where I'm not agitating him, where he's not feeling like I'm nagging him, but let him understand where I'm coming from. Sometimes before we even start a discussion, I'll break out a joke. What I didn't like today. And I'll break out a joke just to make it. We're not about to argue. We're just going to discuss this, and we're going to get to a solution at the end. Because usually we have discussions, and most of the times we don't get to a solution.
Yeah.
And we just
TJ has a comment. Black men aren't given a space in society to vent. Period. So with that being said, and with that being known, now y'all have a job to do.
right. Not only
So
that,
if you don't
because
see it, create it.
right.
But see,
But not only that, see, as I know my brother TJ. Hi, TJ. If you're okay, so your makeup, your family makeup, if you're not brought up having that other male figure to talk to, it would be difficult, but you have to be willing to step out of your that comfort zone. You have a whole brother here, you have Kurt, you have people that you can vent to or talk to, but we get caught up, I don't know if I should do that because this is really personal and I don't want anybody viewing us different. You gotta allow yourself to step out of that comfort zone. I'm like, I didn't have a father figure either, so you have to allow yourself to break from those generational curses and allow yourself to try something different.
that's a good point. But what I think, and again, this is a problem with people not giving him more information. What I think he really, not saying what I think he meant. I think something I can take it from that as well is that we mean by we don't have the space is that angry black man is a type. Right. So okay, TJ, I was going there. So his comment says, nah, in life, angry black man is a type, not even on the personal, just in general. And so what he means by that, to try to interpret it and regurgitate is that this if we walk around in our feelings. So Kurt works in corporate America. I work in higher education. CJ works corporate America. So I'll use us three since Javon brought us up. If an incident happens in our workplace, if we respond to it negatively, how will we be viewed?
Yeah.
Okay. Opposed to our counterparts of, not to be stereotypical, of Chad, Brad, and Greg, if they bring up an issue, how would they be viewed with bringing that up?
Yeah.
Are they being viewed as, oh, you're vocalizing your issues, that's good, you're taking the initiative, or will they be viewed how we're viewed, which is, why are you whining? It's not that serious, or it gets brushed off. So what ends up happening, you end up holding that in to say, okay, I'd rather just, all right, cut that off. I'll get through this shift, and I'm gonna be home soon, right? So now a man brings that day home, and then you walk through the door, and then an issue happened. Hey, you didn't pull the meat out like I asked you to pull the meat out, or hey, you didn't bring this basket up because I asked you to bring the basket. Something, right? And you're just quiet and mute. Now it's an issue because it feels like you're ignoring what I said to you, and really the man is literally still juggling through the day of, I should have choked that dude. Now I'm glad I didn't because we got a mortgage to take care of. We got our cars. We gotta save for retirement, all that stuff. You play that in your head, so then you end up holding that in. And so Blair says, let's create the space for the brothers. That's fine, but here's the other side of that. How many brothers can actually keep what the brothers are sharing? Because if I come to you in a moment of vulnerability and I'm coming to you in a moment of vulnerability and I'm being transparent, right? I'm sharing my feelings and all of that. You're sitting there, are you judging me in the moment? Or are you really listening to help me? Or are you getting all the information to go back and tell, hey man, we just came from group meeting, bruh, guess who having problems? They about to be single. I'm about to shoot my shot. Like, Let's be real.
Yeah.
Everybody
It
is out
happens.
here to be saints. There's some snakes out here too.
Yeah.
So we have to be aware that that can happen if you talk about in a sharing space. Everybody is meant to everybody out here ain't meant, aren't meant to be part of your life for the good.
But
Some people are meant to be, part of the terror as you grow your wheat.
But guess what? Women go through that as well, though.
Coming back in the camera.
Women go through that as well. For me, I have a real big issue with trusting other females. Probably only one other person that I really will talk to, and that's my sister-in-law. But I've been there, done that, where you thought that you could confide in somebody, and the next thing you know, everything that you truly, cared about and vented about is spilled. So sometimes I don't have an outlet. I'm not really on the phone with other people. I don't do that every once in a blue moon. But other than that, I'm pouring into other people. I'm devoted to my kids.
But that thing,
I
real quick, just going back to what you said, if you had a bad day at work and then you're coming into the house and now you have your wife that's saying, hey, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, but she doesn't understand, she doesn't know that you had a terrible day, had a bad day. My thing is, and I ask that with Kurt all the time, why don't you express that?
Right.
Okay.
That's something I'm not really there with. Like, okay, even if you don't want to talk about it all at that moment, just say, hey, I had a bad day, or this is what I'm dealing with something right now. I'll talk to you later, because that's something that kind of, I don't want to shift it because I know you have more to say, but that's something that we deal with when it comes down to something that may have bothered him, and beyond work or whatever, like something that we may have went through, or something that we may have any of that. So it's like, okay, instead of you telling me what's going on, you just shut down. And I'm like, well,
did I do something?
What's going on? What's wrong? And it's like, it's nothing. And I'm like, well, if it's nothing, fix it. Like, fix your face. It's like, but I don't want to come at you as your mom. I'm not
Right.
like, if it's
Get it
gonna be
together.
nothing, then you have to treat it as nothing. Let nothing be nothing.
Or you come in. Right, you come in yelling at the kids, and it's like, hold on a second. I'm the one that's been in the house with the kids for the last 3 hours. You just 5 minutes, and you yelling. Why yelling? What's the problem?
Right, and that goes back to what you said. Like, the climate is here, the temperature is here, and that's that's basically the duty of the that's how we flow as wives.
Right.
The house, like, we like to keep our fragrance here, because I tell them all the time, if we're off, honey,
Everything off.
everything. So it's like, now, I'm looking at the kids sideways, and all they're just being kids. But now I'm ready, like, yo, now I'm about to slap you. Like, why? He's a baby. He's gonna do that. Oh, okay. But so it's just like, either you're gonna, if it's nothing, then have it at nothing. If it's something, tell me, but also tell me, hey, I don't. Hey, B. Also tell me that I don't want to deal with that in that moment. I don't want to deal with it right now. So give me my space. Give me my 30 seconds, 30 minutes, whatever it's going to take. But you got to tell me something. Don't just leave me out here. Sorry.
Because I'm going to keep asking. And I'm going to keep asking. I'm going to keep asking. What's the problem?
Yes.
Well, sometimes, okay, I mentioned earlier, right? You got to give grace for space. So I presented to my wife in this manner, so I'll talk about us. So how I presented to her is that if he says nothing, or not right now, or I don't want to talk about it right now, I'll back off. I'll ask that one time. After that, I'm not going to keep pushing that button, because I don't want to become part of the problem that you're trying to work through. So I know for me, if I say nothing, it's because I'm trying to process and put into logical who, what, where, when, how, and why, what happened, what caused it, so that one, I can avoid it happening again. Two, I have my counter moves, or if it does happen again, I can go here or there. And sometimes, I know for me, I had to explain this to Ron, like, listen, it's not a personal thing, it's just that I can't talk to you or I don't want to bring it to you because I don't want to feel like I don't have a handle of what's going on with me.
Right.
So I want to try to work through it so that when I talk about it, it's coherent. I don't want to be, hey, the rain and plane because Spain, like
Right.
what you're saying. No, I want to be coherent. So
But
at
when you
least
say nothing and I feel it and you telling me it's nothing, no, it's something.
That's the
So
issue.
just say I don't want to talk. Don't say nothing. Just say I don't want to talk about it right now because you telling me nothing. It's like, nah, bruh, something's going on.
Well,
this is not you.
The nothing could be related to. It's nothing to do with you or
I
the
don't care what
family.
it has to do with.
Right.
No, I understand, but when a man, when I say it's nothing, what's
Right.
bothering you? Nothing. Again, that one word is very loaded. I understand. I need to give more context to why I'm saying nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out what just happened and why I almost went to jail or almost killed somebody or got fired or whatever, because I want to understand where was my error so I can fix it. Right. So if I'm still processing through that and trying to, like, again, who, what, where, when, how, why, and do my, if then only then kind of working through it, I can't tell you what's going on because I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to work through it and trying to put together the Rubik's Cube of what's happening. Therefore, that can happen. But if I say, but then there's all the time I'm like, what's wrong? Nothing. Sometimes it can really just be nothing, and these little kids is around here acting crazy, and you just zoned out like, oh, I'm just chilling.
Can I piggyback off of what TJ just said? He said, I say nothing if I know literally my wife can't help me. But she may not be able to help you, but you're able to then. You may be able to get a different perspective on outlook on what you're feeling. You can't just do that because then now she's feeling, even though it doesn't have nothing to do with her, now she's feeling like you're keeping her out.
Yeah.
Right, but see, at the same time, too, great point, babe. But sometimes talking about something that you can't change, that's not going to help too.
Reese, come on now. Jesus.
I know you all still care, but here's the thing. If I say to you all, man, a dude almost robbed me at gunpoint, but then he didn't, right? Me telling you about that, you can't change what the guy did or didn't do, right?
But you're allowing me in that. You're welcoming me. You're receiving me in that space, even though it may be uncomfortable, even though you're unsure. Let us be unsure together. Let us be uncomfortable together.
So should we both drown in emotions and thoughts together?
We won.
Even though we're one, if somebody's drowning, do you jump in and drown with them, or you try to
No,
figure
but
out
I'm
how
trying
to
to
bring
pick
them
you up.
ashore?
I'm trying to pick you up. If you
I'm
talk,
just asking.
if you talk and let us know, we can bring you up to where
I
you
know
need to be.
you used to be like that.
Yeah.
We the neck.
Yeah, you're the neck, and you turn me which way y'all want.
But we
the
can
husband
bring
to
you
go.
up.
But here's the problem about being the neck. The neck can only go left to right. The neck can't turn 360.
But you can't turn it
You
360
can't
without.
either.
So you need the whole body to work together as one, right? So if I'm congested and you don't feel good trying to work through the thoughts, that's like saying you have a bad head cold.
But either way, okay.
But again,
But either way,
it's still a process that we're trying to figure out.
Let
It's
us-
part about being transparent, right? Which is, hey, everything doesn't need an answer.
no.
And sometimes sharing everything can't work out well. Because you can say something that was like, oh, this lady at work got on my nerves off in my face. Who was in your face?
Yeah, who?
Right?
Do I need to come up
And
here?
then you're like, right. And opposed to
that's
just really, hey, I have to work with this person. I have to work
They coming in a second.
Oh, because I'll be there.
The comments is on fire.
But here's
Just
the
letting you
thing.
know.
Okay, what Blair say?
Our wives are not.
Just says,
But wives in some cases can help even if they don't know what's happening.
our wives can help us.
Okay, Blair, that's a great point. You can't read that? Can you see that?
I gotta.
Take time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, Blair, that's a great point. And then Reese says, yes, but I can find someone to help you if I can't help you. So something to steer you or keep trying to stay alive, something. Okay, that's fine. But the thing that we have to understand too is that most men aren't. Here's the men in general. And I know I'm generalizing, and Candace and silence can be deadly. But here's the thing: we are built to be the protectors and the providers. That's our genetic makeup, right? We're built to till the land. So if you are constantly helping us, it feels like we're not walking in our set natural genetic order of being the one to do things, right? We the one. Think about it. When my wife says, so if I say, hey, something's not wrong or something's not right, I want it to get fixed, help me fix it, I'm cool with that. Say, it's not working right, I want to talk about it. Okay, let's fix it. Cool. If she has a problem, I say, oh, let's resolve it. The issue is me trying to fix it opposed to me hearing about the problem. I want to fix the problem, not hear about the problem.
Yeah.
And I think we have to realize, these dang on fireworks, I'm about to freaking lose.
In the broad daylight.
You can't even see them. All right, I'm sorry.
No, Carl, that was a perfect point, man.
So if I'm supposed to, I want to fix things so that it's right, so that it's solid, it's concrete. But if you want to just talk about it because you want to vent, then say, hey, I need to vent, and don't say, hey, this is something is wrong with me. Because if something's wrong with you, I want to say, hey, let's figure this out how we can fix it.
I was just about to say that.
Who we got to go up in charge, you know? But that's the thing that we have to understand. So
We're the helpmeet. That's what we say. That's what I was about to say. Like, what are we as a helpmeet for? If if you don't want us to help you, maybe what is it? Is it a category?
I think I think it has a lot to do with emotions for men too. They don't want to feel emotional. They don't want to feel vulnerable. I don't know what it is. That's why they won't let us in. What's going on?
really,
They don't like to be vulnerable and let us in. They don't like that feeling. I'm about to go tell them off real quick.
I'm about to go hang.
It sounds like it's going in my AC, but okay.
Right.
I think that's one of the biggest issues about men feeling comfortable, our husbands feeling comfortable talking to us because they don't like that emotional. They want to be manly men. Like, no, you're not gonna come save the day for me. I'm supposed to save the day for you. That's what I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I can speak for men, so I'll speak for Carlton. What Carlton Campbell has a problem with is that I don't want it to appear to you that I don't know what our next step is. So
I know that.
right.
I think I know that.
No. I get that. That. So I'd rather take time and try to work through it so that when I come to you, we could work on, okay, here's what's going on with me, here's what's going on. So I could be, again, I want to make it make sense. So even if I don't have a plan, I can say, here's what happened, here's why it pissed me off, here's what I did, here's who it happened with, right? Who, what, where, when. So I can walk through that. It takes time, sometimes depending on the situation, how to get to that understanding of recognizing what happened. So that I can talk to you about it, say, okay, all right, babe, here's what happened, here's what went down, and I don't know how it went sideways. But then now I can get your perspective on it so that maybe I'm looking at it differently, or maybe I'm seeing it differently. Now, you ain't always been this peaceful woman that ain't been ready to go set it off. Some things I had to learn that you have matured and everything ain't about cracking skulls. And because, when we were in college, you had a roommate that I don't want to incriminate you on. We're okay then. So, but that goes back to what I said earlier too, is that she's not the same woman that she was in her 20s that she is now. Peaking at 40. You don't understand that.
It's all right. I don't look it.
Come on.
See, now you said you don't do that, right? What you just did?
I just did.
Oh, okay. All right.
Walking in the truth.
So yeah, I think with walking in truth, right? We have to understand that there are some truths that will be self-evident. That meaning they will show themselves, and then there's some truths that we have to pull out, right? We got to work to get them out so that it makes sense. And it's an individual thing. There's some things that I had to work to become comfortable with telling my wife that bothered me or that I wanted changed or that I wanted different. And then the thing that I had to learn how to sit and listen and receive that she said that I wasn't doing right. it made her feel a certain way. And there was one situation where, being transparent, right? So I'm a mama's boy. I'll admit that's the nth degree. Let my mama sit here and back. My wife and my mom had disagreement about something, and I sided with my mom on it, right? Strike 1 through 17. Yeah, I know. I'm there. I'm already there. What she explained to me was siding with my mom was almost like saying to her that she was by herself in that situation. So it was more so as if felt like she was being ganged up on, opposed to somebody that had her back. I didn't see that. I just saw it as, well, I think that was wrong or dumb. I don't know what I said at the time. So that's why, like, yeah, that didn't make sense. Opposed to just hearing her and recognizing her and letting her state her truth about how she felt, that was my error. And that's something that I took, like, okay, got it. And I think another the Fredericks, Kevin on stage and his wife, Miss Kevin on stage, right? The Fredericks, they have various podcasts, but their Love Hour, watching them together, because they were vocalizing things that we couldn't think about how to put words to. We were just like, because you can't have no moment, because they were feeling the same thing. Like they've been together, their story about 20 years and then married 16 or something like that, and they were saying the same thing along the lines of, like, they had to learn that they both evolve. And his wife went through the same thing that Kevin's wife went through, that Siobhan went through, which was like this whole Say It campaign. And Siobhan went on this tangent where she started speaking up about every single thing I did wrong the moment it happened, and I'm just like, okay, bro, pump his brakes, because you getting a little too comfortable in these demerits you handing out, however you want to call them. I was getting write-ups for every single thing, and then I had to realize was that she was finally speaking up, that she wasn't fair to me. So I had to get comfortable with her telling me, you're not good, you aren't great, hey, you not being the head right now, you being a butt. And she wouldn't say butt sometimes. You know, she grew up Baptist. You know, Baptists aren't fully saved. And we don't yet pray, because, you know, the redemptive power of the cross through the Trinity of Pentecost. Nah.
Where's my sheet?
Can I take it back off of what he just said, though? Absolutely agree with what he said. Also, if you have children, I would encourage both sides to always speak out, because if you don't speak out to your partner about the things that you like and dislike, your kids start picking up those habits and you don't know about it. Like, for instance, some of the things that I don't like that Carl does, his children does it. So I feel like y'all really trying to take advantage of me right now. Y'all really trying to think, look at me small. Y'all think y'all, we not about to do this. So I have to. I wish. But you have to, you know, attack those things. Don't hold it in, even if it's uncomfortable. What they gonna do? Walk out? For better or for worse.
Dennis asked, how did you get comfortable with hearing that?
It took a lot of work.
It took, I want to be real honest. So,
because as much as you hear it, you got to be able to receive it too.
Yeah.
So I had to come to the realization. Siobhan said something one night, and she was like, you're quick to point out what I'm not doing well, but have you stopped and thought about what you aren't doing? And I was like, I had to really sit there, and I was just like, I don't do stuff good. And the thing, I made the ignorant mistake of this. Well, I'm a good husband. I'm a good father. How are you a good father? I provide, I work, I hustle to make it happen, make ends meet, that you all can be comfortable, get whatever y'all want, whenever y'all want. I don't never say no. I don't cheat. I'm home. You can take my phone. I'm always here. Right? And that's not being a good husband. Yeah. That's just not being a trash man.
Right.
It's like, that's just not being a trash man. When she hit me with that, I literally had to sit there and eat that. And just, dang, am I really being that kind of guy to where I'm pointing a finger? And my grandmother used to always say, when you point a finger, you still got three pointing back at you.
That's it.
I look at my three pointing back at me, and I saw more than three things that I wasn't doing to the one that I was pointing out to her. And I had to sit there, and I had to sit there and really, really realize this. Am I bringing this up to be right or to help us become better?
Yeah.
And if it's to be right, then okay, cool. But if it's so that we can be better, so that in year 19 going on 20, we can look back and say, hey, look where we were at.
Right.
Come on.
Because at the end of the day, I didn't say I want to marry this woman and be with her for the rest of my life because it was the fun thing to do. No. Again, marriage is work.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. And marriage takes sacrifice on a level that many don't realize you have to sacrifice to commit and to get to, right? So if you're going to do this life thing together, why be a jerk and make it hard?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what made me really look in the mirror and be reflective to say, okay, I want to be better. Okay, how can I be better? Let me start looking and make changes so that I can, one, show her that I heard what she was saying and that I'm also listening to what she said, so that I can let my actions speak to her more than my words saying, yeah, I changed. No, my actions are showing her that I've changed. And it's not an overnight fix. Nothing's an overnight fix, because this is who you are, right? Meaning, I say who you are as in, if you've gone your whole life being this individual, and now you're pointing out that, hey, this habit that you have or what you do is not pleasing to me. If you love somebody and they say, hey, what you're doing hurts my feelings, is not pleasing, then the love should say, I don't want to make them feel that way. Then let me change, because I want to show you that I love you by making the change.
Right.
That's
And
the
that's
thing I look
basically
at.
what Blair is saying. There is a lot of unlearning and relearning on marriage and life we are going to be challenged to do.
Yeah.
So unlearning, that two becomes one. Like that two becomes now one. So it's like the things that we used to do. I mean, that's a cliche. It's a song
The things
now.
I used to do, I don't do no
Songwriter says, "The things I used to do, I don't do no more." But like, it's for real.
Right.
You
For
have to
real.
unlearn all of those things, and that's the hardest thing. The hardest thing that we can do as people is unlearn something. You can't tell me that, because our first argument as a married couple was about grease.
It was about grease.
And like hair grease or like cooking grease?
Cooking grease.
I can't.
So when we got married, I was raised to put the grease in the old coffee can.
Okay.
Okay, I heard that.
French fries or whatever. He was raised to
Put it like back in the bottle. You're gonna put it back in the bottle. Let it
use
cool
a
down, put it
funnel.
back in that funnel, put it in the bottle.
Use a funnel, put it back
So,
in the bottle.
y'all argued over which method to store the grease?
You can't just because.
No. Wait. Hold on. I want to understand. I'm sorry. I'm not judging. I want to understand. So I want to hear this correctly.
Listen,
Our first argument was the method in which you stored the grease.
Well, yeah, it was like, what we gonna do in our house, and I don't think we grasped it at that point. It's like, yo, I do it this way. No, you do it this way. That's stupid. Like, why? And it literally was like, man, it's like, wait a minute. Like, are we arguing over grease? And it's like, yo, this is our house. So it's like, why are we not creating our own instead of holding on to what we are? Like, holding on to our individuality instead of being one. So
Right.
that was just crazy.
And I had to Carlton said something to me recently. I did what I said. It's this thing that I do. Like he said, I have been speaking up, and it's this thing that I do, and he'll be like, "You're doing it again. You're doing it again. You're doing it again."
Whoa. First of all, I don't say it like that.
He tried. You did it one day.
I'm like, I did it that one time to be a jerk.
Because I try to make him do things the way that I do it.
Bro, you're doing it again.
You're doing like it could be the dishes. No, the dish goes over here like this. I know what the dish is. You're doing it again. I'm like, well, how you gonna know where it's supposed to go if I don't tell you?
But how do you know I don't know to put it to give opportunity?
Because I ain't never seen you do it.
How do you know?
Because I watch you.
First of all, y'all can't reach these cabinets. So I'm the only person above 5 foot in this house. So a lot of things, even with your steps, y'all can't get to. So we gotta get there some kind of way. We ain't got
Tell 'em
angels.
all my business.
You small. She's 5 foot nothing on a good day.
All my business.
So she's vertically challenged. So she's not gonna reach some things in these cabinets,
So,
right?
can we have a transparency moment?
Go transparent.
Okay, so just recently we had an argument over, so we doing this fitness thing and we weigh our food and da 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 da. So I was weighing my chicken for something, and he didn't see me. I weighed my chicken. It was 5.05 ounces, right? All he seen me do was eat the 0.05 ounces. See you over there knick-knacking and snacking away. You supposed to calculate all that. I said, hold on, what does it matter? I know that it's 5.05. I know that it's 5.05. So I got so mad, petty me. I said, you know what, forget it. I don't even want to eat it no more. And I walked away and I went upstairs. And he said, there you go, crying again. I'm like, okay,
No, I
see.
didn't say crying. I said, there you go. You're going to be the one hungry is what I said.
Oh, I thought you said, there you go, see. Like, wait a minute.
I said, there you go. You're going to be the one hungry. After making my food.
And then he's so petty. When I came back downstairs to eat after he left, he covered it up with a napkin.
Because I knew you were going to be hungry, dear. I knew that. And you did all that work. After you weigh your food, you track what you're eating.
Over a piece of chicken. A piece of chicken.
So now we're going to be transparent. And then let's walk back. Let's go backwards then, Saints. So in the text we have here of Campbell 3 and 7, what she forgot to relate to you all was this. She has, I'm trying to make sure I say this right because I don't want to get an elbow to the chest. So she's been saying, oh man, my food is not adding up right. I don't know why I keep going over. What's going on? I'm like, well, you got to count all your nibbles and your bites that you can take it on the side as part of your food intake so that you can monitor your calorie intake. So I thought I was helping her. Like, hey, babe, you eating that? Did you weigh that? It wasn't a thing like I'm indicting you, like you gonna burn the deepest depths of food hell.
He kept saying it. He kept saying it over and over. I'm like, dude, I heard you. Stop saying it over and over again, okay?
Or was it that I said it more times in that week and then that
No,
one time
you
I
said
said
it more times in that moment. And
that
that's
moment
what
or the day?
That moment, that was frustrating me. That was our first time eating.
It was.
That's probably why I was so moody. Like, what? I don't even want to eat it no more. I'm going upstairs.
Can't win for trying. I'm just trying to be the help me on her. Wait, men aren't even help me. So think about that. Wives are called help me. So what are men called? What are men called?
It is a littlest thing, okay?
Listen, man. At the end of the day, you gotta learn and understand who you with, right? So, hey, oh, he left.
Oh man, was that the teenager? Was that?
No, that was the third of the tribe.
As Kendra would call him, boy.
Yeah, I was a boy walking through there. At the end of the day, it's just trying to help. But again, depending on what frame of mind you are in that day too, right? My offering of help can seem like an indictment to you. And vice versa. If I'm in my feels, because men have feelings too, we get in our emotions too, and you're trying to help me, I can see that you're nagging.
What? Y'all getting y'all emotions.
I want to. Here's the thing though.
For real.
But back to what we were saying earlier, right? About emotions being able to feel them.
Thank you, Cooper.
How often are men allowed to be able to be in our emotions, just have pity parties? Right? If our wife, I know for me and my wife, if she's having a bad day, and I let her sit and mope, right? Are men given that same grace to say, I'm having a bad day, let me be in my bad day?
Yes, if you tell me.
We tell y'all.
But didn't you just say here earlier, you're going to watch the replay, that if something's wrong, I'm just asking a question because, and all that getting to understand it. Didn't you say, if something ain't right, fix your face because you're going to have my house feeling like this?
If you're saying nothing. So if I'm asking you what's going on and you say nothing, so it has to be nothing. So act like it's nothing. If it's something going on and you can't articulate it or you don't want to talk about it in that moment, that's when I'm saying, okay, now I'll give you your moment to go, I'll give you whatever time you need to go handle it, process it, to be quiet, whatever it
Right.
is. But if it's
Right.
nothing, if you say nothing and it's something,
And you coming in here like a dinosaur, something is going on.
if you say it's nothing and it's something,
Okay. But let's flip this though. If we ask you, babe, what's wrong?
play
Nothing.
ace of cardboard. I'm sorry.
Reese is
Wait,
trolling.
what? So if you all say, what's wrong? And we say, hey, babe, what's going on, sweet thing? How you doing, fineness? Nothing. Right? Oh, okay. And y'all sitting there and y'all emotions or feelings. We're not. I know. I don't try to make you come out your feeling like you better get together, tap together, because we got the rest of the day to go through. It's just.
I mean, you do it when it's needed. You'll say, "Come on, babe,
But
just leave it alone."
but see, I've learned how to read the situation to say, all right, come on, babe, let's get over it. If I'm there, but if there's something happening at work with these little bad kids, if you want to strangle and all that, I'm gonna let you come to me when you're ready.
But to me,
You don't want to strangle these little
I
bad
used
behind
to
these
struggle with
these
that.
kids is bad.
Don't come to me when don't let me come to you. You better ask me, am I okay?
But see
That's
here, but
how me
hold
and
on.
you.
But may I present this to our discussion? If I say what's wrong and your answer is always
That's
nothing,
right, Reese. I almost knocked the
Looking dumb and
sorry. I
barking
almost knocked
and
this phone
barking,
off this holster.
barking.
That's why you swinging.
What's the answer? Say that, Reese.
but see here's the thing though. Okay, so y'all wanted to speak up and say something. Communication is a two-way street though. So we all sitting here right now, right? Saying communicate without a prompt. We can't just put good job, Mother Dowd,
Hey,
Junior
sis.
Mother Dowdell. Thank you for that. You communicate without a prompt. That has to be a two-way street though. So if you're having a bad day and I say what's wrong and you say nothing, I'm going to give you that space to let you feel comfortable and say it to me. Give me the same latitude.
Shake your head. You don't have to do that. What are you
No, he's
talking
just
about?
saying he hear what he's saying. So my
No,
sound is
but
good, right?
never,
The
I
I,
thought he was
but I
shaking his
never
head because
say
he
I'm
was
just,
nothing.
saying
I'm just listening.
I
because
never say nothing.
shaking his head, going amen, man.
I never
Is that
say
not
nothing.
your testimony?
I say, Carl, I'm having a bad day. Or he could tell that I had already been crying in the car or something. Or he could say, if I go straight upstairs, usually I'll stop in the living room and talk and play with the kids. If I go straight upstairs, then you already know. Or most times I sit in my car for at least 20 minutes before I even come in the house to decompress, to get all the frustration out from the day.
Right. You don't
All
have.
of the things.
Oh my God.
Taking me out, sis.
Hey,
I'm sick
brother
of it.
Adolphus, thank you for joining us. Thank you.
I'm sick of
Thank you
it.
for joining us, good
I
brother
do too, Reese.
Adolphus.
I
Um,
wanted in
Yes,
person
do
too.
this in
so,
person.
okay, so
We can do this in
your,
person.
your commute from work isn't the same commute that I have. So I have an hour and like 10 minutes
I know that's real, Angie.
commute home from work,
What Angie
and
say?
your commute.
I believe I'm
If
joking.
you been having a bad day, brother Darren will know.
Mm-hmm.
But sister mother singing Mother Angela, not Angie, mother sister Angela. Um, okay,
That's how I be
so
saying it.
so we know our spouse. You're gonna know your spouse, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're individuals operating in a joint life.
Yes.
So how you used to speak about situation one point in time, you may try to evolve and you're going to evolve from because you count the cost. So you know what? I can't snap and be this say what I want to say quick smart mouth guy anymore or gal because we got all this life that we're trying to worry about and do. So you hold on to it and you try to figure out internally, whatever. So when you come home and your spouse sees you like that, do you want your spouse to ask you what's wrong? Or are you so caught up in what's going on, you're not even thinking about them asking you what's wrong?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking to you and to those that are in here with us. So like you had a bad day and you're still working with it. If the issue is that bad, Ty, it's a $5 rubber ring, man. I ain't the one walking around like go. You know what? If
You got a big backyard. Let's do it.
All right.
Hey,
Let's do it.
I'll bring some
In the 70-degree weather.
yeah, I'm chocolate don't be outside.
And the sun don't like it.
Everyone don't talk. So okay, the question I was asking was this: you're having a bad day, right? So
I want him to ask me.
Does the problem go? Is the problem that you're dealing with? Are you trying to solve it, or do you want your spouse to see that you're having a bad day, or that you're having an issue that you're going on internally? Because if the problem is really bothering you, vexing you, you're not thinking about your wife looking at you, your husband looking at you about the problem. You're just thinking about that freaking problem, right? Like, man, I need to resolve this problem. I need to fix this problem. Not, why are you not looking at me with this problem? Are you looking for pity? Or are you looking for results? Is what I'm asking.
I guess it depends. I guess it all depends on where it is. If he asks me, am I okay, or what's going on, to me that kind of probably will. I know for a fact, for Kendra, that'll make me feel better.
Okay.
Because he actually cares. He notices, he sees me. And maybe that's something that I actually struggle with as an individual. Not being seen, not being heard, dealing with things on my own. I had to fight my own battles because it's like, okay, I'm a private person, and we all got this again with this mind state. What happens in this house stays in this house. So it's like some of the things that I've dealt with, I had to deal with on my own, so I had to fight myself.
Gotcha.
So when it comes down to it, to have a person here with me, to have a husband, I kind of leaned on my husband maybe a lot more than what I should have. And maybe it was a lot for security. That's what I needed so much. The biggest thing I needed so much from my husband was security. And to be transparent, that's something that I feel we really need to work on. We're working on, because
Gotcha.
security, I haven't felt secure.
So when you say you need security, in what manner are you saying, like, you need emotional security, meaning like I'm securing knowing that you're going to be there for me, or I'm securing knowing that you can help me work through this? Like, I'm trying to understand the security part.
So what I always say is, when you're marrying a woman who was a single parent before, you got a whole another you got more things to kind of deal with.
Gotcha.
Because even as a married woman, honestly, I still operate in single mom. And it's not even on purpose. I'm not dumbing my husband down, never, ever. But as a married woman, I still make sure I don't even consider him in some things, because I know that you're kind of over there. So you work your 9 to 5. I'm a housewife. When it comes down to dentist appointments, doctor's appointments, I'm doing it. When it comes down to cooking, mainly cleaning, I'm doing it. So that's my mindset. Like, I have that mindset of that. And sometimes it can be a little tricky when it comes down to our marriage, because it's like, oh, shoot. I'm not asking you, hey, what days can you take off so you can take the kids to the doctor? No, I'm not gonna do that. I'll go straight single mom. Okay, let me get this together. And it's like independent women. Let me get this together. And it's like, huh?
It's kind of like I've been noticing this too with my children. They come and ask me everything. I'm like, how your dad is right on the couch.
Yeah.
You came all the way upstairs to ask me for something in the kitchen, and he's downstairs. But that's the way that they have been trained. Being that it's been times he's a musician, and it's been times he's been overseas, has been gone for months at a time. All they had was me. So naturally, they just come to me and ask me
Yep.
for everything.
Yes.
So now I'm trying to reprogram, like, hey, it's okay. You can. Sometimes they're intimidated to ask him stuff because they told me, when my oldest told me, well, I don't ask him because he waits 2 and 3 hours to do what I ask him to do. To whereas mommy gets up and does it right away.
Do you do that, Carlton?
And he doesn't do it. He doesn't do it intentionally. He's just so into whatever he's doing. He done forgot what the baby's done asked.
Oh my God.
Especially Morgan, my youngest. She's like, I don't want to deal with him.
So a kid is calling me.
She don't want to deal with
I'm
him.
gonna go see this kid is yeah, baby girl, come in, daddy can help.
She don't want to talk to him for nothing. Yeah.
Okay. Not defending my action, but in my defense. Sometimes the kid can be asking something while I'm working. So if I'm in the middle of grading or I gotta do an edit for something, I'm trying to get that done because this is my job or this is part of the livelihood so that you all can go get Robux and have the 17,000 streaming platforms that y'all want to comfortably have. Or my oldest is now in the speakers and she just literally asked me for the tie-dye ones. And I was just like, what do you know about tie-dye ones and Flints? Who told
And she
you
wear
this?
women's sizes.
Who taught you this? So that's on her birthday list. So if you want me to be able to get you these things and still be comfortable, I need to work so that you can have all these things and then they can have all these things. So if I'm in the middle of working, I'm just trying to work. It's not a thing of just ignoring. It's just
I know you don't do it intentionally.
No, but
I know, but they're like, it's just easier to ask mom.
Maybe as a father, I'm teaching them this thing of your emergency is not everybody's emergency. So because you're hungry right now, everybody doesn't have to stop and do for you right now because you want it. That's not how the world works.
I can see that working for our oldest too, but as far as Morgan, y'all, it's different with
Morgan is me in female form, so
she don't want to be bothered with him.
So she is.
She don't want to be bothered.
But I'm gonna stand on the premise.
But I told him he has to spend time with her and continue to talk to her.
No, me and Morgan cool. I'm gonna stand on the premise that I'm trying to teach my children to be well-rounded individuals because the world is not yours.
Brandon, it's annoying.
Footstool. And therefore, I know it's not gonna hurt your feelings. And sometimes a yes is not what you need at that moment. Delay is not denial. I can have any
she just look at me when she see him coming, she go the other way like,
That's how nice it would be.
Because y'all know why? Y'all got just the light.
And my oldest probably can't stand it either.
So. Just the light. I mean, it ain't no shade. I stole my homie 50 grand. We play Roblox and all that stuff together, I guess.
He's just now finding, like, we discovered that he has to tap into the things that they like. So, to whereas I don't do that. I've done that already. I'm past that stage. You can have that.
Hey, little boy.
You said, hey, y'all.
He wants macaroni.
Ooh, hi. Look at him.
So it's something you said earlier. I wrote it down because that's another thing I'm learning to do. Stop interrupting. I'm doing a good job, right?
Yeah.
So.
You mean on this platform? Because you want your guest to speak more, right? You talking about that? No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you was talking about.
Even when we're talking, and if we're in the moment, it's like, wait, I need you to understand, because if you're wrong, I don't want you to keep going in that. I want to let you know, no, that's wrong, actually. Nope, stop it right there. Stop it right there. No, that's wrong. That's false, actually. False. Time out. False. So, what you said was, sometimes when you're in the heat of the moment, and if you're both on 10, we have to somebody has to be the person to take the low road. Here's my thing that I'm dealing with. Well, that God has really worked on me. He did.
You're a jerk.
My thing is, you know what? Yes, pause it. Go back. That's right, Ken. My thing is, what I was dealing with is taking the low road. I would take the low road all the time, but I didn't want to. I didn't want him to get it twisted that I was a punk.
What you
Just
say?
because I'm a woman and all of that, but maybe that's all the brothers that I got in me, whatever. But I'm taking the long road. Don't you know? Don't do me. But I don't want you to think that I'm a punk, and not even the point that I'm gonna swing off on you because I don't want to do that. That's something we don't do. But I just want you to know
Kurt don't want that
I'm
word.
taking these low roads, so you're gonna have to take a few. Don't do that.
Kurt about to catch these heads.
Agreed.
Kurt,
I'm gonna go straight Holy Ghost.
Kurt gonna be having a Baptist stick trying to say
Right.
I ain't no punk.
Okay, not today.
But see, why? But why does it have to? Okay, so my question would be then, why does it have to be that you're being a punk? I know, I'm sorry. Why does it have to be that you're being a punk opposed to you just like, I'm trying to get through the situation?
But why does it have to be me all the time?
Right.
Oh, well, I can't speak to that. I don't know, child. I don't live in your house. I don't know what Kurt is be over there doing. Kirtland, you better get together, Kurt.
Go ahead, speak your truth, man to God.
Yeah, Kurt, why you be doing that, man? Why you posting your plant outfits on Instagram? I hope you have raisins in your potato salad for that outfit with your flints.
I hate them. Lord.
Whoa, ho.
Right.
Wait, I'm mad he got him. I don't hate the shoe because he got him when we couldn't get him. Well, I ain't gonna go
He
that
has
far.
him here already.
But they probably beat down.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Put some duct tape on it. I don't know.
Okay.
No, come on, Ken.
How many pair of black shoes do you have?
I don't know.
TJ,
But trust, they're not $300,
You get what you pay for though.
and they're just fine.
And here's the flip though. Kurt could sell those and make that money back.
Come on.
But
You saw those shoes. You saw your Aldo shoes or your 9 West. Is 9 West a store still?
Huh? Yeah.
9 West?
Yeah.
Store?
I don't know if it's gonna close afterward, but it still is.
Can you sell your Aldos and your 9 West and get your full money back and then some? Because we have resale game. Now with purses, y'all can. With Louis Vuittons and Gucci's and
I'm not into
and Tory Burks and all that, you can sell those and flip those. But some of y'all shoes, your Louis Vuittons and all that, you can. But with our Jordan, let our Jordans be our Louis Vuittons. Just chill.
TJ, that's the problem, TJ.
Wait, what's that?
There ain't no winning.
We got
Every
to
else in life, we have
and then we got to be his.
So we gotta change.
Ain't no winning. Like, who's arguing
Yes, we
to
definitely have to be the bigger person. And then TJ said, because everywhere else in life, we have to be the one to take the L. So when we get toe to toe, it's like, nah, I'm going to win this one. Sad but true. What?
I mean,
Jesus.
listen.
When did he become opponent?
But that's what I'm saying.
Right. We
In
on the same team.
in the moment, we're there. Like, if you bring something to me and it's the wrong approach.
Watch your back. Watch your back.
I'm listening.
Oh, okay.
When it's the wrong approach, we feel that we have to, like I said earlier, I have to end this. I have to let you know that I'm in control of this conversation. Regardless of how you're coming at me, I'm going to end it. So,
oh, Lord.
it may not be right, but in that moment, that's how I feel it. If it's brought to me wrongly,
What
like
kind of chicken
that's
and your macaroni and cheese are you talking about? Like what?
So I think what Kurt Land is trying to say is that he wants you to understand that he's fully aware of who he is in the conversation that you're having. That as in, if I'm wrong, stop me, Kurt. That hey, you do realize I'm a man and I'm your man. So I'm not one of your little kids around you talking to sideways.
I've heard that.
No, yes, maybe so.
yeah,
So
go ahead, Reverend.
hey, recognize when I say something, my words are just as valid as your words are. So don't talk to me down, I don't talk to you down, but we don't take nobody back down, so then it keeps elevating and elevating. So then Kendra, you be like, you know what? I want to snuggle and watch Insecure tonight with you, so I'm gonna take the low road and just chill. So therefore, you got it, big fella. But do and believe, I was chopping in your throat. I just don't want you to get up and we got all these babies. You can't do hair, and you gonna have baby girl around there looking like Loke Dog from Don't Be a Menace. So she don't want to risk that. So
Kendra,
yeah, she don't punch you in the throat.
Kendra, what's going on?
I can't see.
She was about to morph. She put the glasses all curtains, being curtains.
Right. Yeah.
Because I had to see what he was talking about. And I ain't
She had to
understand
see.
it.
Right.
I ain't understand what he was
I had to
saying.
see what you were saying. Hey, take that with a post, because in life, black men and black women always have to be the one to take a step back and relax situations. So when like talking to a spouse, it's hard to do it again from both sides. I can see that argument for an argument.
I'm with Candace with the emoji eyebrow.
No, so here's what he's saying.
Because I don't understand it.
So what he's saying is this.
I mean, go ahead.
In everyday life, right, when it comes to a situation, you don't want to be seen as the angry black woman. We want to be the aggressive black man. So we end up chilling out. So when he's
is he talking about out in the community? We talking about within your marriage, in your four
right.
walls.
So when you come home, you like, yo, I done took all these freaking L's outside these four walls. I'm gonna get the L somewhere. I think that's what he's trying to.
And he gonna let off on his wife. That's what he's saying.
Or is the wife gonna let off on the husband? You know, there's two people in a marriage.
Hey, drummer.
Oh, whoa, hey.
Sorry.
Let that sound practice, because they gift will make room for them. Take them before the men. But I think at the end of the day, it has to come to a point where you all have your grounds for how you're going to handle discussions and disagreements, right? So if you know that, hey, we about to have an argument, hey, here's our ground rules. All right, no below the belt, no kidney shots, no eye gouging. All right,
but I
made the best points and win.
I know when we have an argument, I'm automatically gonna come at with a different approach because I'm a very caring person. I have empathy, so I always think about other people or how they're gonna feel before I even jump into anything. On the other hand, my sweet Carlton, he's not gonna do that. He's coming hard. He's coming with the facts. I can expect to get the tissue ready.
It's the truth hurts. Sometimes the secret doing, sometimes.
But then it's things that he brings up, and I'm like, well, I didn't even know that was an issue. Why did you wait so long to tell me?
Because in the court of law, you can't go off of speculation. You have to line up your facts in order to build a concrete case.
That's not
the Campbell thing. That's the Campbell thing.
No,
it really is.
In the win too.
Because to me, and I'm in all seriousness, it's not about winning to me. I don't care less about you winning. If you're not hearing what I'm saying, that means that we're not going to move forward. It's not going to go nowhere.
But see, that's the issue. If
we're going to keep running into it because I won, I had facts.
No, it's not about winning. It's about it's about having an understanding of why this situation right here is dumb or sideways, where we're not on one, right? So let's come to an understanding of here's where said person.
Nobody's argument should be dumb because it's the way that person feels.
If you burn our house down and we got to go somewhere else, that's dumb.
Right,
so now let's talk about this is why this is dumb.
You can't use that.
No, I want to give you an example of something that's dumb. Not saying that. And again, if I say what you did is dumb, I'm not calling you dumb.
Yes.
Let's make sure that,
right,
because people have a really hard time of understanding that.
But people are also slick with words. You know that's not what you're saying, but don't say that to somebody when they on 1,000.2.
That's true.
Some people are real slick with that. They throw that in there to like.
You should know me.
Yeah, I know you.
You should know me as
I know
spouse.
I know
I say it, I mean what I say. Don't I? Okay.
Sometimes.
I'll be my wife. Am I not a man of my word?
Stop.
Am I not a man of my word, or at least if I say this is what I mean? There's no innuendos or no legerdemain by the hand.
usually after I explain to you how I took it, and you'll say, "Oh no, this is what I meant."
Well, I can't help your interpretation of what I said, right?
But if you know me,
No. If I know you, I've already filtered through my head 17 times of how to say this to you or how to say this. So,
but why wait 17 times? Because by the time you get to
Molly.
17, your approach and the way you're talking to me is trash. Like,
maybe
it is because it's built up and you're mad now.
it's not a built up thing, it's more so I'm trying to say it so that it makes sense. And so that way it's conveyed so that we both understand. Right? So if I say, hey, 2 plus 2 is 4, I want you to understand that we can take 2 of these bottles and then take 2 more bottles. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4. Opposed to, I don't feel like it's 4. I feel like there's 1, 1, 1, and 1. It's like, that doesn't make sense. Let me explain to you why it's 4. We're going to add them all together.
So instead of saying that doesn't make sense, you say that's dumb.
Yeah, I would say that's dumb. I'll admit, where's my Bible?
And I'm like, well, you dumb.
Where's my digital Bible?
Well, you dumb.
I've said that on many occasions. Like, that's dumb, right? Like, that's dumb.
So by you saying that's dumb. Like, well, are you telling my the way I feel is like
No.
how I'm explaining stuff is dumb? Like I'm ignorant? Like what are you saying?
No, what I'm saying is what you just said in this moment in God's given allowing time to us. You just said verbally after mandibles was dumb. But you are a wonderfully, fearfully, beautifully made woman that is not.
I just had a.
Because if you was dumb, baby, you wouldn't have a ring on your finger.
Okay.
All right.
Because
So yeah, that ain't a thing. It's just your action, and we have to. And again, when she said you did X, Y, and Z, and that was dumb or that was nasty to her, like, oh, you didn't put toothpaste back on. You didn't put the cap on the toothpaste. That's nasty. You didn't call me nasty. Just that accident, that moment I forgot to cap the toothpaste is nasty. Right. You're not saying I'm a nasty spouse.
I'm not married.
Marriage is not scary.
It's fun.
Marriage is fun. Marriage is fun. Honest to God, marriage is the best thing to happen to me.
And you argue about this. Well, let's not say that word.
Because
you argue about the craziest thing.
Yeah, but we got inside jokes for days that people ain't gonna never know about.
It's this word that we say that nobody will ever understand why we say,
and it's the best thing.
Yeah.
That's the
like, oh, she let him call her that? He asked me 10 years ago.
The best thing is like it's somebody that you can share life with that gets you.
Right.
Because again, when I leave outside my home, yeah, your family may know you, but my wife knows me.
Right.
There's nobody I can let my complete guard down. Right? I can walk around naked in front of her and not feel ashamed. Anybody else, I won't be sitting there, ooh, my privacy. Like, because I'm comfortable. And find somebody that you can be comfortable with emotionally, physically, and spiritually is very, very important. And like TJ said, Mary is nowhere near what they portray on this loving hip hop Atlanta and Real Housewives or whatever city. That ain't real marriage.
No.
That's a fairy tale farce.
And don't let that corrupt your minds, because people start thinking that they are those real people in them shows, and they bring it home and start confusion at home for no reason.
Say it.
And then some people I used to watch it. I used to watch it, and I used to tell her, well, I'm watching it because I can relate to what she's going through. I tried to figure out how to explain that.
How?
I'm talking about like when you are, don't have your mother and your father wasn't around like that, or a single parent. Like, oh, that's what I always was trying to explain, but nobody could understand what I was saying. Like, what? Boy, you better love that morning bread.
But that's the thing. That's true. So I didn't watch the Real Housewives stuff, but I had the movies, like the actual movie.
Yeah.
So in my mind, that's how I wanted marriage to be. That's how I thought marriage was going to be. And so when I married and it wasn't like that, as well as I thought marriage was going to be a cure-all. So I came into marriage thinking that the feelings that I felt maybe for the opposite sex. or maybe having friends, whatever the case, whatever I thought marriage was going to cure that.
The missing parts that you were
Yes,
missing.
the missing parts, but as well as what I was
Eyebrows.
dealing with, maybe my struggles. So let's just say if I was a sexaholic, let's just say that. I'm thinking marriage was going to help me cure that because I'm married now, so God loves it. It's a new covenant now. But what if you get with a spouse who's like, well, yeah, we could do that, but I ain't as much as you. So now it's like, well, how do I cure this craving? I thought marriage was going to cure that, but it actually intensified it because I'm not getting what I want. So
Right.
what happens when you're going through withdrawal, you want it, and then you have to fight it. You have to fight it, and then what happens? People end up, going back into that, or going through withdrawal, or go back. What is it called? When you go back to it.
Backslide.
Backslide.
Go church.
Relapse.
Relapse.
We gonna good answer.
So that's the thing. That's the real thing. I went into marriage thinking it was going to cure me and thinking it was going to be like those movies. I'm a Disney head, so I want to hold hands. I want to walk through the malls,
Hard for us to hold
put your
hands.
hand in my back pocket.
Nah, she want to
Like,
grab butts. I'm like, I don't play that. I don't
Yes,
I love you.
Kendra.
I love you.
You ain't going to make me
Don't
go
be doing that, man.
It shouldn't be good to me then.
Stop touching my butt.
No, he was like, I don't do that anymore because he almost cussed me out from A to Z, divorced me. I said, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna leave him alone. I thought I was the kid. The way he went on, and I said, you know what? And
Just don't touch my butt. Stop it.
and it's certain things that he does that I can't stand. Can't
God.
stand it.
Gosh.
Please trim that.
But no, Kendra, you hear something that was dope. We bring into it the fairy tale illusion. Oh my God. Only.
Yo,
You see what Brandon wrote?
yo, this is my boy Brandon. Yo, he's a comedian. Yo, he put in there, my marriage is great. My wife started cooking, and I went to Morris Chestnut to John B. Keith.
You cooking good. Where's my food? Where's my plate?
So, please trim that touch. Yes, please trim that touch. So, Kendra, that fairy tale illusion and that misconception of like a secure all, then let's put on top of it what we're all connected to. Now throw in your church dichotomy of here's a dogma that's related to marriage. And it's how marriage is supposed to be because, you went to a church women's meeting and you sat with, women that were, 50 plus, and they said just how their marriage worked and all that stuff. You're trying to bring all that to fit your marriage.
Yeah.
What
It ain't gonna work.
What about the woman? So for me, I didn't have an ideal of marriage.
Yeah.
I just knew that I wasn't gonna be what I was seeing. I knew that I was gonna be the one to break all the generational things in my family. So I didn't really know what to expect when it came to marriage. I just knew that it was gonna be something that I wanted to do because I didn't grow up seeing it in my immediate family.
That's a good point. And I, on the other hand, I did grow up with seeing marriage. So my parents are married and they're still married. But what I also saw was that my parents, I was born out of wedlock, right? So you know what that means for church stuff. So what Kendra hit on, I want to touch on that too, which is we all have this that we dealt with and we did before marriage. So I wasn't a person when I got married. My wife wasn't either, so I knew that. So, hey, it's July. You know what July means for brothers? It's sundress season. Even though we in quarantine, you still go to the store. It's still sundress season. So because you're married, I don't mean not a man anymore. And same thing for women. You all see things that catch your eyes, right? These Mickey Pickies and these dog.
We're gonna have a heart attack before the night.
I'm not gonna have a heart attack.
It keeps scaring.
I'm gonna cause it. I'm gonna have a conversation. Sorry. As I was saying, you hit something that was dope on the head, though, Kendra. You said you have this withdrawal, right? Where you really like, man, I used to be able to do X, Y, and Z. Now I'm married. Now I have restrictions, or I can't do anymore because I'm married, or you don't think you can do because you haven't discussed it with your spouse, which is saying, hey, before I got married, I was doing X, Y, and Z with A, B, and C. Now all I have is my A. What's going to happen? And the problem is we don't know how to be honest with ourselves. Of like, be honest. Yes, that woman has an attractive shape. Hey, that guy over there has a great physique or a smile, whatever, or eye that catches your eye. But it's, what do you do after you have that glimpse? Do you still pursue that glimpse? Or do you say, I'm not going to go after that temptation to keep going? Bishop like Henning said something that is interesting. Like, God gives us the one look. Because if God didn't want you to see it, it wouldn't have walked by you, right? When you look the second time, now you're lusting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you're looking twice. And then the third time, bro, you done saying, that person done got naked in your brain. And y'all do everything under the sun. Because you're not controlling yourself. And this is where discipline comes in, which we have talked about as far as marriage. Marriage requires discipline in order to be committed. So I discipline myself to be reminded of my vows.
Yeah.
I have to discipline myself to be reminded that if I go for self, what am I doing to my family?
Right.
Yeah.
So discipline helps me to back off my withdrawal. So yeah, you can say, I'll be honest, I was a traveling musician before I was married. And I'm still a traveling musician. So what's the difference? I have a piece of paper that says I'm now married. I'm still the same guy that had experiences before he was married. So now what do I do on the road? I have to think about the consequences of my actions that I would do to not only my wife, but I have daughters. So now, if I do said action and I hurt their mom, are they going to have the stigma of that? Well, this is what all men do.
Right.
Because I'm the first man that they encounter. So am I going to stigmatize them and give them daddy issues? Which now takes them somewhere else, which is a whole nother tangent that we can talk that can go where that goes.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's my discipline. Love makes me respect my wife, but my discipline makes me keep my actions in check to honor my wife.
Yeah, man.
That's something that I just try to keep and be mindful of that. Because we're perfectly human. So our humanity and our flaws are gonna always shine through. We're gonna always push through, and we're taught to be desired Christians, right? Well, we're taught to be desired creatures. Like, we desire stuff. We want things. You see things. You get hungry. You want to taste and touch. When you have sexual desires, we're created to be sexual beings. Or you have feelings. And doing some studies, all of our most heightened senses are in our genitalia. That's for a reason, for us to get pleasure. So if you're always thinking about just the pleasure, but not the reaction of the pleasure, then it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And that's where discipline comes in. I think that's helped us have a very healthy. I ain't saying it's perfect. I ain't saying it's Disney. I ain't even saying it's Netflix like, but it's a healthy marriage.
Come on,
When you're healthy, sometimes you can get fat. Sometimes you can have a skinny, a lean season. Something that I learned too is that just because something is growing doesn't mean it's good. You can stay from an infection. So that's also real. So I rather have a healthy marriage to where, we gotta work on our issues and work it out, but we're building that muscle so that when we come back to something that happens, these freaking fireworks, yo, babe.
Why can't they go on the street? Why in the driveway? They're like right outside our.
They're right outside. If something happens, we have the muscle memory We have the muscle memory to remember how to fight it off, and we have the muscle strength to be able to. Girl. That's what it is, man. Right.
All you
All you
heard,
picked out was
you see,
genitalia, but you need the work to build the muscle up for that. You have the muscle memory to remember what it took you to get over that, and then you have the muscle that's built up so you can have the strength to fight it off. So
I get
that's
that.
why
That's good.
it's needed for discipline.
yes, yes, yes.
But it's still sundress season out here, and the Saints ain't holy. My God,
The Saints.
the Saints and ain'ts, and I just gotta say I can't. With you Saints and ain'ts.
So we're gonna be wrapping it up. So y'all
Oh,
know
man, it's
we
time to
say a
go.
lot.
Oh man.
So
Well, Kurt,
basically,
we gotta go to another platform in a minute, Kurt.
I'm gonna be in this too.
Yeah, hit that group chat in a second.
Yeah.
so so just to back it up. Just before we end it out, is there anything? So you guys have been married for almost 9, but together for how long? You said
15.
15.
Yeah.
With that, we've been married for 10, going on 11, and we've been together for basically what 12, going on 12. So we've been knowing each other for years.
Yeah.
Dope.
So with that, what do you have to say to someone who's on here who may be single, or who's in the genesis of their marriage, whatever, who because we could a 10-year-old marriage or a 9-year-old marriage could help a 40-year-old marriage. So what do you think, you guys could come up with it collectively or as an individual? What do you want to say to those who are dealing with their own truth?
So
Their own truth versus the truth.
I would say, in your own truth, first of all, period, in your own truth, know what you want. Know yourself. You have to know yourself and what you want and how you want to be treated. Somebody asked me the other day, my other sister-in-law, my younger sister-in-law, do you know what love is? What is the definition of love? Do you truly know what it means to be loved? How do you want to be loved? Are you able to explain to somebody else, if you're dating, or this is how I want to be loved, this is what love is to me? You just have to know what you want. Don't think, oh, I can get him to change once I get into the thick of this relationship. And no, speak up, say what you want in the beginning. It'll be much easier later on down the road.
That's good. That's good.
That's good.
Yeah, understand the love language. I think it's time you're referring to.
Love language.
Understand the love language, whether, words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time. What's the fourth one?
God.
Dog.
Google.
Gifts.
Right.
Gifts, yeah, giftings. All right, so there's the 4 love languages. Understand how the love languages affect you. And understand, even though your love language may be affection or touch, your spouse's may be quality time. Your spouse's love language may be gift or receiving gifts or
It could be more than one of them.
or you can have 2, but you have to understand that. And I think what also helped for my wife and I, and even through our ups and downs that we've had in our relationship, both.
I hear it. We hear it.
Yeah.
If y'all see me on the 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock news, y'all know what's up.
We'll bail you out, man. God.
My G. So understand the love language, and it's a real thing. That book is definitely worth it. And take time to go through that. Another thing that I hope too is that we are friends first. So before we're husband and wife, this is my friend. So as her being my friend, I'm comfortable with being able to just be around her. I can be myself. There's no guard or anything I have to put up. And
He gives me the real, okay?
yeah, but you also give me the same thing. And that's the thing. Be upfront and honest as much as possible. And you have to get comfortable with uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah.
And That's something that helped us out early on in situations where I was being young and dumb, and she stuck by me, and she was being young and dumb, and I wrote it out with her. And it was the thing of being stupid for the person. It was okay, fool me once, shame on me kind of thing. Like, yo, I'll give you the one chance after that. You got to prove to me that you're worth hanging around. And I tried to prove to her that I wasn't my mistake, and she proved to me that she wasn't her slip up. And the end, we didn't hold it over each other. So it's like, okay, hey, this happened. Let's rock on. Let's be bigger than better than that. Let's move forward.
That's good.
Yeah.
You forgive. You don't forget. You don't forget because you know how that made you feel, and you don't want it to happen to you. But I'm not gonna hold it over your head that it happened.
Yeah.
And that's helped us in most and not last but most certainly the most important thing is it's God, man. At the end of the day,
Definitely.
our faith
Definitely.
our faith has helped us where it's through transitions, through health scares, through uncertainties,
Near death scares.
near death experiences. Um, yeah,
Ain't nobody being fruitful and multiplying though.
nah, God, Charles.
No, he was giving his testimony. He said he got 7 kids.
Oh, okay, okay. Ooh.
I said, wait a minute, I got 7 kids.
Whoa.
I'm a comedian, musician, and preacher. My discipline comes from that. I'm thinking that he put a wife and kids that thinks the world of me, and God strongly love, and I can't let them down. But
That's good.
I think he
That's
said the word will
yeah.
comfort you, and you have to be strong. Plus, child support and alimony will kill.
Well, listen, New York State don't play. I know all the rates for child support, so I've studied them and I've ingrained them in my brain. So if I ever think about being stupid,
Right.
I remember them percentage breakdown, and I'll be like, you know what? It ain't worth. It's cheaper to keep her, is what can say. So, but no, our faith has helped a lot. Where you gotta fast and pray. I know it sounds cliche and everything like that, but
And that means that doesn't necessarily. I'm sorry, Coach.
No,
that doesn't necessarily mean that you always have to do it together. You could fast and pray, work something that you have to do on your own. Everything doesn't have to, babe, come do this with me right now. But he may not necessarily feel like fasting and praying right then and there.
Yeah. Like you have to have your own prayer life and then have a prayer life together and devotional together. But at the end of the day, that our relationship with God helped our relationship. And so forget that. I was Jesus. He's the sinner, right? I'm not gonna say God. God can be a coach to somebody.
Right.
My Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
There you go. Put out there first and foremost. He, the Godhead helps us. So God gives us the strength. Jesus gives us he's the way. He's our mediator.
Right.
And the Holy Ghost comforts us when we don't know how to go to each other and make it make sense, right? So that Godhead comes in handy a lot of times. Like, okay, God, help me help this make sense. All right, Jesus, how do I say this? All right, Holy Ghost, man, help me
and never
deal with myself.
And never go with the intention to tear each other down.
Right.
Never go with that intention. Always go in with a pure heart, a caring heart to help each other to see what needs to be fixed to go forward, to move on.
Yeah, that's good. That's good because I would say that's to piggyback with that. It's just like if you go the route of downing your spouse, then you have to, if you're going to stick with them, you basically have to build them back up. So just like in the Genesis with us, just really quick, it's like when we got into our space, it's like I downed her. Like I'm using my words, and it's like, yo, like now we could talk about it, but it's like, yo, now I wasn't hearing how she felt. I was just expressing myself, and I didn't care how she felt. So now it's like, yo, 10 years in, and she expressed herself, and I'm like, yo, like I'm a jerk, like, and I'm like you said, Carl, you got to sit there and eat it because it's like she can now express herself, like, yo, like I've been dealing with you for years trying to change you, and like, yo, I need to change too, like, like that, like when you said that, I was like, yo, that's so crazy, like I could actually hear her, see her pain, she crying, it's like, yo, this is like, yo, I'm a scumbag, like that's messed up. So it's just like, and that would be my encouragement. It's like in your Genesis, be aware of that. Although you're different, you shouldn't be focused on trying to change that person. You should be trying to make yourself better for that person. So it's just like, just be careful with some of this, I guess.
No, 100%, man. Why do I want to change something I fell in love with?
Yeah.
Right? It should be, what can I do to make it better? So if I want her to be better because I love her, then I got to do the things to help her be better. So then if that means me being more emotionally aware or more emotionally open or more talkative, even though that ain't being a that problem.
You have your talkative moments.
Yeah, but it comes in spurts. But at the end of the day, it's recognizing who she is and seeing her who-ness, right? If I don't recognize and see her and hear her, seeing her, understanding her, and hearing her is now validating her who-ness in our relationship. And that's something that I would just say just be mindful of at any stage. I don't care how long you've been married. You could be married 50 years and your wife has held up for 49.
And you could be married 50 years and you talking about your wife's who-ness and she doesn't know who she is because she's so used to caring for everybody else that she hasn't had the time to sit and figure out who am I?
Right.
What do I want? Because my kids are grown and old now, so what now what?
And I've seen that happen because your whole identity becomes a relationship. And at the end of the day, not to draw this out, we keep going back in.
Good stuff.
But it's the reality of relationships that at the end of the day, you have to put in what you expect to get out of it. So if I want a relationship, I got to put good into it. If I want trash out of my relationship, then I'm going to keep putting trash into it. So whatever you give the relationship, you're going to get back. And I want good. I want great. Forget that. I want excellence out of my relationship. So therefore, I'm going to look to give it excellence. Some days I fall short, but best believe the next day that ain't going to happen. Because I want excellence. And so I thank her for allowing me to be human, and I'm grateful for her. She's the best move I've made since being a LeBron fan.
You said being a what?
It's the best move I've made since being a LeBron. That was for Kurt, because Kurt can't stand
Being a
LeBron.
LeBron fan.
I'm so confused.
I'm like,
I was so confused.
But no,
he's in a garage band. What?
Nah, LeBron. It's the internet, girl. It's the internet.
You can't see our hair? Oh, okay.
It's the internet, girl. It's the internet. It's the heat. But no, like Bridget Jackson just said, input equals output. Whatever I put in, I'm going to get out. And I want a return on my investment. And that's the way I'm looking at it. Now, but it's fucking good.
Yeah, you talking good stuff here.
But yeah, I want a return on my investment. So, and I think platforms like this that that Kurt and Kendra, that Kendra and Kurt have put together.
Yes.
That Kendra and Kurt have put together is a great resource. And so Kendra, post your Cash App so that people can sow into this help, so we can help grow this platform.
It needs
and where my phone? I do the same thing. Get my phone.
We're doing some things. So in Jesus' name, yes.
Yeah, so it's needed. And like Blair said, we need resources that married men can talk about what they struggle with marriage, and women can talk about what they struggle, because there's strength in numbers, and we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. We need testimonies about how my marriage was here, but here's how I got out. Everybody don't want to talk about that.
So how about, because you don't want to deter the ones that are looking towards or heading towards marriage. I don't want to use that word struggle.
Marriage is not a struggle. Marriage is work.
Marriage work. That's what
anything worth having is worth working for.
Right.
So if you want a better body, people can get surgery, but there is complications with that, right? That can happen. People want to make money fast, but depending on how you do it, whether you do a loan or you sell drugs, there's complications with that, right? But if you work for it earnestly and honestly,
you got nothing to worry
the end result, nobody can take that from you, because that's yours. You earned that. You garnered that. So it ain't scary, it ain't a struggle. It's work. But anything worth having is worth working for.
Come on, man.
And that's the way I look at it. So don't be afraid of marriage. If anything, when you find that one, they take all the fear of being married to that person away, because they make it, as Kendra said, they gave you the security to be comfortable with being with them, to be married. So, you know, now DBD, Bridget, we pray that you find somebody that gives you that security and that comfort that
Yeah.
you don't mind working with. Because at the end of the day, the work is worth it. The work is worth it. And there's nobody that I would rather work with than right here.
He's trying to make me cry.
My phone.
I gotta keep the game on. Listen, you know, gotta shoot the shots.
He a
Come on,
I am not a
shyster.
shyster. Why do you keep saying I'm a shyster? The Lord is just giving me the ability to form my words together. That's all it is. Not smooth talk. I gotta put my words together. It's okay, bro. It's okay. It's okay. But yeah, at the end of the day, this is person that I'm glad I'm working this thing called marriage with, and I'm glad to be having people like you all to partner with to help keep us in line, like the Dowdells, like the Smiths, like the Stanfields, like the Wilsons, like the Troublefields, like Keisha and the Collins.
The Collins.
You know, that's the thing. We have so many, like the Millers, like the Camps. I just keep going on. There's so many married couples that we know, and if you think about it, that are around our age range, that we all pull strength from. So that, hey, when the Campbells are weak, hey, I hope the Johnsons will be strong. When the Johnsons are down, hey, the Dowdells can hold them up. That's strength in numbers, and you know, this platform right here is giving us a place where we can draw strength from. Because somebody may be arguing on July 5th, and they may need to watch us on July 6th and say, let's work on it to figure it out. How can we start? And so, find the resources, do the work, put the work in. Say, I want my marriage to work. Don't get married for the hoopla and the hype of a reception or a ceremony. Get married because you felt like your life wouldn't be complete without that person being by your side. And that's why I got married. I want her to be by my side, through my ups and my downs, and she's been there. And so I want to make sure that my work that I put in. Ask the Bennetts. Yes, thank you, Mama. Thank you, Mama Cheryl. The Bennetts, another resource. They're out there. Yeah, Derek and Janita, they're out there. At the end of the day, you're not in this marriage thing alone. Don't feel isolated, you know. We don't have the community of church, but we have platforms like this. We have Ask the Bennetts. We have other ones. Miss Kev on stage has her platform with the Love House. Find something that you all can relate to and make that time to tap into that. And I'm gonna shut up because at the end of the day, I just want marriage to work. Whether it's
we're all for it.
We're all for it. It's honorable. So
And for those who are on here, if you have any questions like that, like Carlton just said, you have the resources. DM us. Hit us. Hit us in the DM. Respectfully, but ask us the question. Ask us the question if you have it from a singles perspective, marriage, whatever. If we're female, don't go to Carlton or Kurt's page. Try to DM them because I'm going to slap you. I am. So come to us. If you're a male, vice versa. Don't come to me because I'm not one. So
nah, it's true. I mean,
that's real, TJ. That's
the
real
Smiths
talk.
and the Dowdells have been there for some of our talks out and vice versa because you need somebody that's gonna hold you accountable. When you being crazy, when you being wrong.
And they will hold you accountable.
So don't get somebody who are yes men. Get people who gonna hold you accountable with being.
That's cool, Bridget. We got you. She said she got too many questions. She told me.
All over.
And all about getting into understanding. So yeah, ask the questions.
I ain't really gonna slap you.
Listen, young Tyson, I'm not even gonna go into your college story, but let's just say she should have been expelled from the university at Buffalo for a roommate and
over the AC girl.
Over AC.
Just
over air conditioning. Over air conditioning. But God.
It was built up.
But God.
Shut up, TJ.
Young Tyson out there, right? But yeah, at the end of the day, thank you for having us so much.
TJ was, just so y'all know, TJ was our Carlton's best man at our wedding.
He was the witness of the license.
The one person, only one. We didn't do anything.
I couldn't do a big wedding.
Yeah, we wanted to.
I had to get back on the road, so I only had a week off. So
he was there from.
I had 2 weeks off. Sorry, I had a week to get married, a week of honeymoon, and I had to go back out to finish up the tour. So
you had a small wedding.
It wasn't small. It just was straight to the point.
That's another thing. Ours was too.
Wasn't on
we
2000.
ain't
We
going to
only
do
had
anything
one.
a big wedding.
We only
And
had
it was one
one.
of the best. It was at the moment. I felt kind of like cheated.
Yeah, I
But
did too.
now that I got older, I'm like, that was the best
It was.
thing that we
No,
could
We
do.
wanted more of our friends
I did
there.
want more of our friends there, and I felt bad. Like Jesse and Kim Miller definitely were like, "Yo, why didn't you say something?" And I was just like, "Yeah,
We
man."
decided at the last minute because at first we wasn't gonna.
Cause we were gonna push it back, but I didn't know when I was gonna have my next break from the tour run. So I literally had to.
He said small.
I literally
Compared to yours, TJ.
I had a 2-week off window. I flew back home from overseas, and I had 2 weeks off. So I said, "Okay, babe, I'm flying back home. We got 2 weeks. We can get married on the Friday, and we can literally do a vacation, a honeymoon the next
It was
week."
more so.
And so
it was more so your family there. You really want to think about it. It was older. It was older aunts, older cousins.
Here's the thing. And I'm not gonna lie. It was a hustle. It was a hustle. The hustle was if we're gonna invite people who gonna sow into your marriage. Not, and I'm not trying to be funny. Like legit, you gonna invite people. Get somebody who's gonna come, who's gonna give more than what your plate of dinner costs.
Literally, he only had TJ, and I only had my cousin as my maid of honor. That was it.
That's how it was. D-Mount was my best man.
D-Mount and Jerry. Another family. More family. But at the end of the day, if I could do it over again, I probably would do it the same way. But I would try to invite more of our friends, but to be honest,
we're gonna do something for the 10-year.
We is
something for our friends.
Okay, we doing a 10-year. All right. But at the end of the day, we were in agreement how we wanted to have it.
Right.
So it wasn't like you got to marry me this way or that way. She didn't do ultimatum. Like, do you want to get married? Yes or no?
Chill. Everything went smoothly. Like. Only thing that was delayed was the photographer being late, and that was
Our photographer was dumb late.
But
and other than that,
everything was.
We had great memories. We made out with Bank. God is good. And
we burnt up on our honeymoon.
Our honeymoon was hot as jacks. And
there was a heat advisory.
We enjoyed the honeymoon, and then I had to go back to work for 3 more months.
Even if you did go somewhere, you was running to get back to the room because it was like 105 degrees.
Yeah, that was
nice.
Nah, but
we got married during a Sunday, a Sunday morning service.
Yeah, like
holy matrimony. That's really holy matrimony.
Listen, Carl. Listen, we went to Bishop Browner. Like, okay, we want to do we just want to do like a small wedding, like maybe in the office. Like, we weren't even trying to be on no like doing it outside. He was like, "Oh yeah, y'all want to do that?" He was like, "No, like I'm gonna make sure y'all are an example. Y'all can be an example for so many people." So he literally made us part of the Sunday service. Like we had praise and worship, blah blah blah, and it's like, okay, we about to do a wedding right now, and he literally preached our vows. Like it was crazy. And it was like, okay, we about to raise y'all offering too. I'm like, oh, an offering, okay.
That's that's it. That's what's up. That's love.
Yes.
That's love, man.
That's
our reception was 50 people.
Yeah, right at our crib.
Right? We were living in the Art Space loft
we were living
at
in the
that
loft,
time. So we had our reception in the lobby. It was a beautiful art exhibit during this. So the pictures was good. You know, our family made the food. Like it was great.
Yeah.
It was great. And so we came into the marriage everything fell into place. We got so many donations.
Yeah.
Like his aunt, everything that happened with her. I mean, I don't even know the story what happened with her, but whatever the case, she had a wedding dress that fit me perfectly. No alterations, nothing. My mom had a pair of shoes that I could fit. You know, it was just like that. Kirk's dad
how it's supposed to be.
I came out of my pocket to buy Julian a vest with the matching pants from where? Like the Burlington.
AJ Wright.
AJ Wright. Right.
Look, we didn't pay for nothing.
Yeah.
It was.
And I stressed out because me and my mother, I was really stressing because I'm like, is she gonna come through? She paid for the venue and everything was taken care of for a single parent. She held it down.
All right, and my parents helped chipped in, and that's not the traditional norm where the groom's parents helped out, but they were like, we want to show you all that your family, so we're gonna help contribute to your family. Yeah. So that's the beautiful thing, man. I think.
Oh, thank you, Lauren.
Right.
Lauren is a financial advisor.
So
what you say now? Listen, I'm trying to make these ends agree with me.
Northwestern.
So how can I make this? How can I Sister Lawrence? We gonna have to get you on here and talk
Yeah.
to the
Yeah, I
Johnsons.
just met with her last week.
Y'all about to be a millionaire?
In Jesus' name.
Can you hold on?
Let me hold something.
All right.
But nah, at the end of the day, this is it's dope, man.
Yeah.
If you can't be transparent, then that means you all haven't gotten through it and gotten over it. So I hope tonight's talk helps you all
I
realize
hope it
that.
was transparent.
We hope we were transparent. I mean, there's questions you can ask. We're open book. We don't try to hide anything.
Nope.
What's there to hide? I
Nope.
mean,
NT thing.
Ask, right.
just
Before we
ask.
close out, Campbell, when do you guys need pray us out?
Go ahead, Bishop Campbell.
All right, well, you bow your head. Everybody get down on one knee.
Down in the row. Everybody get down in the row chair.
Can't get up, Carl. Go ahead. Just start.
And he's making me roll
Yo,
away.
yo, boys, come and get your daddy.
Daddy, come get your daddy. Stop walking.
As an empty
You know my
pitcher
feet.
for a fountain, Lord, fill us up. No. Let me see. Fill us, God. Fill us.
Drench me, Lord, drench me.
All right, come
All right, okay. In the key of 8. Come on, TJ. Give me that good old quartet key.
Okay.
Finger up there, but you.
Yeah. I almost said something.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
I almost said something.
These musicians, I tell you.
Y'all be stressing me out.
All right.
Come on.
But laughter is good for the heart. You need to laugh in your marriage too.
Yeah.
So,
Don't take them off yet, Kendrick. Don't take them off yet, Kendrick.
so
Sorry.
I'm going to do it with you.
y'all both
I
blind.
can't see nothing.
Both blind.
All right.
Blind and I can't hear. Y'all be quiet. Keep praying.
With the church fan.
They got my notes on it.
That's what's up. Come on, man. Come on.
Let me just pray. I'll just pray, and then Kurt can just walk in on the prayer like he's
So
late
I'm
for
going to give
church.
the church finger.
Put your finger up, Kurt, when you come back in during the prayer. Just come back in. All right. Lord, we thank you for this time. Thank you for this hour that you set aside, or this time you set aside for us to come together and share and be a witness of what love can do. And when we put you at the center, all things can be made new and refreshed. Because with you, all things are possible, God. Thank you for those who tuned in, those who watched this. And let the words that we say be encouraging, Lord God. Let somebody be able to know that it's worth working for and fighting for. Let them be able to find security in their spouse. Let them be able to open up and find intimacy with their spouse to a whole new level. Let somebody be able to know that through you, God, all things will work together for their good because it's called according to your purpose. And we ask that as they play this back and as they hear this, as they leave out, that their marriages be made new and be refreshed. And Lord God, we just ask that all these things be made manifest. In your son Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
You're playing with your eyes open.
How you gonna talk to the prayer? Where the ushers at? She talking to the prayer.
I'm
She's gonna
back.
escort you out.
Talk to this prayer.
What kind of first thing you talking to the prayer? You supposed to be like, amen, baby. Amen, baby. You supposed to be like, amen, not talking to the person coming in.
Yo, Carl, we gotta get. I swear we gotta get us all in the room. You, TJ, Brandon got to be in there too, bro. It's gonna be crazy. I don't even know what the topic gonna be. It's just gonna be crazy, bro.
You know what it's gonna be? It's gonna be help. I'm a husband, but I can't say anything.
Let me go ahead and push this finish button.
Speak, Holy Ghost.
You must not want to.
Speak, Holy Ghost.
I don't like this.
EDB Ashanama.
Pull me back.
Flesh and blood did not reveal those to you.
Huh? Huh? What you say?
I'm gonna break these wheels on this rolling chair.
The order's dried up.
It did.
We got some people.
30 seconds. All gone.
Woo.
your
this is
time.
excellent.
We're about to call you guys.
Y'all were doing so good.
You were doing so good. We're about to call you guys, but thank you guys so much for your time and for your
Thank you.
Thank
We love
y'all.
y'all.
Love y'all.
Lord willing,
Everybody,
until
love
next
y'all. The love of the
Wednesday.
Lord. Stay encouraged. Stay married. Be safe. Drink your water.
Yes.
Turn your tides.
Drink your water. Yes. If you see anybody lighting fireworks, tell them to stop.
Yo, I'm telling y'all, these fireworks, somebody about to catch these prayer hands, and they ain't gonna be open. That's all I got to say. That's all I got
Everybody vote.
to
Please stop the fireworks. Let's start that petition.
say.
Let's petition everything else.
You're not
Stop
supposed
that.
to be celebrating no way.
Listen, they ain't stopped till like 12:30 yesterday over there.
Bruh, somebody about to catch a jab to the throat. I'm telling you.